two, one. And we're live. This is Nifty Culture. I'm Pio. And this evening, I have the pleasure of speaking with, again, a very talented motion graphics artist, Mr. Jonathan Winbush. How's it going, Jonathan?
What up? What up? Good seeing you again, man. It feels like forever, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I know we spoke off air, just yesterday, but we had a little bit of an on air, discussion about your previous drop that came out before this one. I know that was definitely a successful drop, so I'm really excited, to hear about this one coming up on Makersplace. For those who haven't seen you, I'd love if you could give a little bit of context as to like what your creative background is, and maybe a little bit about what's coming up for you.
Yeah. So my name is Jonathan Winbush. I'm a motion graphics artist. I'm based out of South California, Southern California, SoCal, whatever you want to call it, right below Los Angeles. I work in television, movies, immersive experiences. Some of the past projects I've worked on are like Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Transformers, Deadliest Catch. There's actually a new show coming out this week on the 19th. I work on, well, it's not a new show, but a new season on Discovery Channel called Alaskan Bush People. I did all the CG and motion graphics for that. And then, yeah, that's primarily my background there. So yeah, I've been doing motion graphics since 2006.
Awesome, man. And I know that skill set has really translated very well into the NFT space. You've been successful with the drops that you've put out so far. Little fun fact, I know you've had a collaboration with Mixmaster Mike, who's a friend of yours, right? From the Beastie Boys.
Yeah. So that started back in the VR days, whenever, VR was hot. We did actually the first motion graphics virtual reality hip hop music video ever. And so that was fun. And then we just brought that right to the NFT space. So yeah, we dropped on Super Rare. I want to say that was back in March we did that drop. We did the original version, then we did a remix. So yeah, that was a lot of fun there working on those two projects.
March feels like a long time ago, but yeah,
Forever
that's
ago,
awesome.
yeah. Especially in the
A lot.
NFT space, right?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot's changed since then. Another fun fact is that one of your collectors is the Beeple, right?
Yeah, which I just spent a week with him. I see EJ in the room as well. I design another dope artist. Yeah, we just did like an artist retreat up in Portland for Camp Mograph. So yeah, it's dope seeing all the really dope artists up there. Beeple, Brilly, I design, all your favorites, Blake Catherine, Shams. So really dope time.
That's cool. It sounds like an incredible time. That must have been an absolute jam with all those talented artists. Not too much NFT talk though, right? Just being people, right?
Absolutely not. I think we might have talked about NFTs once for a little bit, but yeah, it's just all about chilling and vibing out in the woods. I mean, we literally had like no service, and there was like one spot in the woods that had Wi-Fi from the campsite. So every time you walk past that hot spot, like your phone notifications
From
would just be blowing.
explodes.
Yeah. So, but for the most part, you're pretty isolated out there. So yeah, it's really dope just getting away from like everything, just like, lights out, just, away from society for a good week there.
I need that, man. I need that to just get in the woods and grill some food and do all that. But okay, so let's take a look at this drop. So the name of the drop is Sound On, correct?
Yeah, so it's a collection of 3 NFTs that I'm bringing to Makerspace. So this is going to be my first drop. So on Makerspace is going to be a featured drop, which is featuring tomorrow at noon Pacific time. And so it's a collective of 3 NFTs. I was saying everything is audio reactive. That's why I call it Sound On. Plus, I created all the audio tracks from scratch. So all the music and sound effects that you hear in all these pieces, that's 100% me behind it. And then all the motion graphics are reacting to the audio that I created. So it's something just for me to push my boundaries even further, because I haven't done music in like forever. So it's really dope to try to, pull that creative side of my brain and get in there and just start exploring and, feel those aspects where you're not really comfortable, and just, really dig deep in there and just have some fun with it.
That's awesome, man. And I didn't know you had a musical background. Did you make music years ago? You said you haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to play the alto sax, the saxophone. And so I was an alto sax. I did make beats back in the day. You know, as teenagers, everybody wanted to be a rapper or be into hip hop. So yeah, I had the Roland 808. I did some music back in the day, back in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But you know, after I went to like art school, I kind of just put all my musical stuff aside and just focused strictly on motion graphics. So it's been like a good couple of decades since I've done anything, you know, musically.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna play this song for a second because I mean the name of the collection is Sound On, so we gotta play this, you know. So
Yeah.
we're gonna turn the sound on for a second. Just gotta make sure I can control the volume a little bit. Here we go. I was trying to dim the volume. It's all or nothing with this software, I guess. I can either go
Not
all
really.
all the way up or down. I was gonna dim it so we could keep playing it because I just wanted to comment on how dope the kind of not the contrast, the opposite, the unity between the sound and the graphics are, and that it sounds like that was your intention, right?
Yeah, 100% from the start. So, like, I worked backwards on this one. Like, I created the soundtracks first that I wanted to create to, and then I kind of built like all the visuals around the audio work that I created there. So, just having a lot of fun with it. Just, I had to move fast because I know I had a feature date coming up, and so there's, you know, once you start getting into that art world and you could just keep going forever and ever, it's kind of like you just keep having fun with it. But at some point, you have to be like, okay, this is it. Like, this is dope right here. Let me not pick at it any longer and move on to the next one. So yeah, it was one of those projects. I was just having a lot of fun, you know, digging in there.
Yeah, and so do the deadlines like for you are deadlines like really necessary for you to be able to kind of just get to like you said where you're like this thing's ready to ship, this thing's done because otherwise you can just keep going in and keep trying to make little things better.
Yeah, I would say, especially in like the NFT space, because it's different than my commercial work, right? So, like when you have commercial clients, you're working on TV, you're working in movies, you have a set deadline. Like you have to be finished by then. And so, my years and experience, that's what I'm used to. Like, I'm used to, okay, we have this shot that needs motion graphics or VFX. It needs to be done in 14 days or something like that. So, I'm used to having like a deadlock schedule. But with NFTs, you know, you're just creating stuff yourself. So you have that free will to call it quits whenever you want to. And so that's something that I've been kind of juggling with as well, because like I don't really do like a ton of personal work. Like I usually do a lot of client work. And in my free time, I'm doing tutorials, you know, teaching stuff on YouTube or doing courses and stuff like that. So it's definitely different, you know, kind of creating stuff for yourself, but it's also very dope because it's like I don't have any type of like clients, you know, breathing down my neck, telling me to do this, that, and the third, or giving me a style guide. Like everything is just me, you know, fully fulfilled coming out in this artwork.
That must be awesome. There must be times where it's challenging too, right? Because at least you know your years in the game with the motion graphic stuff working for clients, you're able to just you know kind of download the information from them, understand their requirements, and then crank it out. Because you know you're a pro, you know what to do. When you sit down and you have that blank piece of paper, so to speak, and you got to knock out these motion graphics projects for yourself, and then I feel
Right.
like there must be like some added pressure on it too. Do you feel that at all, or are you super loose with it and you're just ready to go?
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit, you know, comfortable in my skin with it all. Cause like you said, like, you know, if you work on Transformers, you have a style guide that you have to work with. Like they'll say, we want your creative input, but you're still bound by the creative universe that you're working in. You know, you can't make Optimus Prime, you know, like pink and doing all this crazy stuff. Like you have to work within the scope of the world that you're given. And so it's definitely different, you know, doing NFTs, but it's also liberating at the same time. So, you know, at first, especially back in like February when I started doing this and everything just felt like it was moving at rapid pace, I did feel that pressure because, you know, everybody's just spitting out NFTs. But as things started to slow down, I'm slowing down as well. And I'm just really, you know, starting to have a lot more fun with it.
That's awesome. And you know, I'm going to turn the sound on this one to do justice to the name of the project. Very, very dope, man. And I just feel like it's just like very refined. Like it's evident that you've been doing this full time for a really long time. And maybe you don't know the answer to this just yet, but I'd like to ask anyway. Could you see yourself, doing less and less client work and more NFT work, or do you like the balance that you have right now? Like, I'd just be curious to know because it's one thing if someone's doing something that they don't enjoy doing and then they're able to do what they like doing with like NFTs, for example. But it's another thing if you're already enjoying your work and you're already really good at it and you're a super respected person in the industry and you get to pour it on with NFTs. I'd love
Right.
to know what you think about that balance and what you think about the future for yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. I like just bouncing it out. Like, I don't think I'll ever leave client work. Even if I made like $1 million sale tomorrow, it's like I still would do client work just because you sometimes you do need that restraints put on you. You can't always just have like free reign. I think it would just drive me crazy, Plus, you get to work on dope stuff. Like, literally, I just delivered a commercial this morning for the NFL on Fox, and it's like, if I told clients like I'm not taking any more work, I wouldn't get to do any more like stuff like that, like NFL stuff, or I'm working on Paw Patrol, the movie, like movie trailer stuff right now, which is really dope. So I think it's cool keeping that stuff under your resume, if that makes any sense. Like, it's cool to be an NFT artist, but it's also cool to have, that respected stuff under your resume. So you can tell people whenever you do a job, be like, yo, I just worked with the NFL, and then here's my NFT as well. Cause it just puts more clout to it, if that makes more sense, or if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I mean, you're fortunate to have that cloud and have that industry experience that, a lot of people don't. So that's why I asked the question, And so let's pull up this last one. So this is elevator action right here. Okay, cool. Got the red theme. All right. So let's let this one go. So and how long have you been working on this project?
I say, when was the crypto gallery? You remember the crypto gallery up in Hollywood by King of Midtown in 33? So
I, yeah, I
uh,
have no recollection of any dates or times
I
in.
know, right?
So
It's like,
I'll tell I'll tell one anecdote real quick before you answer. Is that at one point I was on like a live stream or on like a Twitter space or something, and somebody said that Gutter Cats, like that profile picture project that is very popular in the NFT space, had come
right.
out 20 days before, and I just remember being like, how did that thing how did that possibly come out 20 days ago? Like, I feel like I talked to you 6 months ago. I bet if we looked on
Right.
the calendar, it was like probably like 30 or 40 days ago. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I think it was only back in July because that's right before I did the show out in Shanghai. So yeah, that was only like a few months ago, if that.
It's
But
crazy how time moves. But yeah, anyway,
yeah.
what were you saying?
No, but I met Tony from Makerspace up there. He does like he recruits the artists and stuff. And so Tony was at the crypto gallery up in the Dream Hotel up in Hollywood, and I was just chatting with him, and he onboarded me onto Makerspace, and he was like, would you want to do, like a featured drop with us? And so I immediately went to work right after I got done talking to him. We did a Zoom call the next day and everything, and just, got everything solidified, and I went right to work. So it probably, I guess, the day after the crypto gallery, like I said, I don't remember what that date was. Like, it's been a crazy ride. Like, I just did jury duty for 2 weeks, and it felt like I just missed like 5 years in the NFT game. So it's just like
Oh
time
my
definitely flies in this space.
Oh man, I'd lie through my teeth if they tried to get me to do jury duty right now. I'd be like, look, like whatever this guy did, I have I'm a bias. I'm biased against it because it's like, I was telling you that I was out of town for 3 days, and it's like 3 days out of the game. I felt like I
Right,
really missed a lot. So I can only imagine with your jury duty and then your artist retreat. At least with that, you were still with artists, so you were like in tune with the energy. But yeah, it's
right.
it's hard when you take time off.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, the court system, at least out here, they're not hearing it. Like, when I was sitting there in jury selection, I heard every excuse under the books. And so when it came to me, I'm just like, it is what it is. Like the one lady, she's like, her husband was a doctor dealing with COVID patients at the hospital, working like 18-hour days. And she's like, I got to be home, to be with my kids. And the judge was just like, tell them to take time work, or tell them to take the time off of work. Like, you got to come do your civic duty. So whenever she said that, I'm just like, well, there's no hope for me. He's out
I
there dealing
can't
with
say
COVID patients, and yeah.
I got to make
So,
videos to sell them as NFTs. Well, like, come on, it's pretty important. Yeah, the judge
right,
is gonna rock with
right.
you.
Yeah, so the judge was relentless, and I just, I took the punches and just rolled with it, did my civic duty, and yeah, just keep it moving. It is what it is at the end of the day. Made my $14 a day through the court system, so can't complain.
I didn't know they paid you. That's so funny. They just give you 14 bucks a day.
14 bucks a day, and they pay for gas, but only one way for you to get to the courthouse. So for you to find your way back, you're on your own, but they'll pay your gas, to get to the courthouse.
Wow. All
But
right, man. Well, hey, keep it moving, like like
yeah.
you said. And now we got these dope NFTs to look at. So I'm gonna let the music go here. Is that a sample of your voice that you threw in there?
Nah, some cat out the UK. Nah,
Nice.
that will be for another special one. I have to start doing some audio effects and stuff like that, like Rozelle or something. But yeah, now this one is probably, out of the three, this is probably one of my favorite ones. And I got the idea from Elevator Action, the video game. I don't know if you remember on the original NES, but like, I'm a huge, original Nintendo fan, and Elevator Action, you're just going up and down the levels, and it was just a really dope game. So when I was coming up with the concept for this one, I was like, not only should I make everything audio reactive, but as the breaks are hitting inside the music, maybe there's levels to it. And so that's why we're shifting up and down the shaft there. And I was just like, Elevator Action just be a dope name for, that concept there. Plus paying homage to one of my favorite video games.
I mean, that's really cool, man. I was gonna say this is my favorite one too. This one's just really involved, like the way that you have these different panels coming out that go with the music, and then when it goes back down, the panels come out from the bottom here. I really like this one a lot, and the music that goes with it.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it might have been your voice. That would have been a cool little
I
Easter
should
egg,
have,
you know.
yeah, I should have threw that in there. That would have raised the value, right?
With the artist's original voice, you know.
Right, right.
So,
But
so what's the? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was gonna say, like, all the pieces were kind of paying homage to something in my childhood. Like the other one, the greenish, orangish one, I called that one Ecto Cooler. I don't know if you remember back in the day, like the Ghostbuster cartoon. I want to say it's around like the 80s, 90s era, but they actually made a high C drink called Ecto Cooler, and the liquid that's inside of there is kind of reminiscent to that color palette and stuff like that. So is just having a lot of fun, throwing in those little Easter eggs to my childhood into these pieces.
Yeah, I love it, when artists throw in, like, nods to references or inspirations, and when there's like a tight theme that kinda, or not even a
Yeah.
tight theme, but just like a overall, like, kinda theme and reference that goes into the work. So yeah, so I mean, what's the story with this drop? How is this gonna be structured? Like, these are 3 one of ones. What's the pricing structure? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is 3 unique one of ones. I'm not doing any additions for this feature since this is my first drop with Makerspace. They asked me to make, everything one of ones. So we're going to be rolling with that. As for the pricing structure, I think we're going to make it open. So we're just going to accept some offers on there. So hopefully we get some dope collectors that haven't had any of my work, because I haven't been dropping too often. I've been trying to keep it scarce. So hopefully some new collectors come in there and they see something that they like and they just start dropping some dope offers. But yeah, we're not going to do any auctions or no set prices. Hopefully, the open-ended bargain system just kind of works out for this. I never did it like that before, so just trying something new.
Awesome. And you already have the previous success of your last drops, that you can reference, and, hopefully that'll attract some collectors, like you said. How did the relationship with Makerspace start? Like, how did that kind of get rolling?
Yeah, like I said, met Tony up at the crypto gallery up in Hollywood. So yeah, big shout out to King of Midtown and 33. I went up there to support my man Brilly. He had a Maker's Place drop. Him and Chad Knight. They were doing like a live auction at the gallery, which is really dope. So yeah, Tony from Maker's Place was there, was just chatting it up with him, and we talked on Zoom. And he was saying like he was a fan of my work and stuff like that, and he wanted me to do a drop with them. So I said, why not? Let's give it a shot and see what happens. It's really dope when a platform reaches out to you and they want to do something with you, because you got the full support of that platform behind the work that you're about to release. So that's an opportunity I couldn't pass up. Plus they seem like they're really into having me on the platform, so that meant a lot to me.
That's awesome. And, that sort of respect is earned, so you earn that through your previous drops, you earn that through your reputation. I'm thinking people's going to come in, he's going to scoop up one of these for 69 million bucks. It's a wrap.
Man, I can only hope so. That would
He's just like,
it, all right, yeah, going back to your previous question, if he did do that, then I would say no more client work. I'd be good. I'd be the
at
client at
that
that point. Yeah, so
if he just donated his whole Sotheby's auction or Christie's auction, that'd be pretty good. But you had another drop that you wanted to mention, and maybe if you wanted to screen share, we could take a look at that. This is some upcoming work that
yeah.
it isn't even done yet, right?
Yeah, so on September 21st, I'm going to be doing a drop with Nifty Royale, and this is a new platform ran by Karen and Tim. I also met Karen at the Crypto Gallery, so that's how I got onto this platform. They're pretty much brand new. I think they've only been out for a few weeks. Like they did their first drop with Lush Sucks, which did really, really well. And the whole concept behind this platform is it's called Nifty Royale because it's based off of the Battle Royale games, like PUBG or Fortnite or Warzone, things of that nature. So say like you have an edition of like 50. So you have one NFT that's an edition of 50. And once those 50 are sold out, they start battling it out until you come down to like one NFT. So it's all randomized and it's all done in rounds and sections. And once you come down to the winner of that battle royale, they get a special one of one NFT. So what most people have been doing, like they'll drop the edition as a still, and then like the one of one special one would be like an animated piece. But for mine, I'm actually going to be doing both of them animated. So the edition will be animated, and then it's going to be like a hyper realized version of it for the special one of one. I'm trying to think, how would I have my After Effects project open right now. Do I just hit
So
the
I'm gonna
screen share
stop.
button here?
Yeah, exactly, and then I'll be able to pull it up.
Okay, let me see. So I should be able
Everyone,
to.
you're getting unreleased Jonathan Winbush content right here. He's about to drop on Makerspace, but you all are about to get to see some stuff that he's working on right before this on After Effects.
Yeah, I keep giving you exclusive, right? When I did the Shanghai show, you were the first to see that one as well, which definitely appreciate. That one actually sold out too. That whole entire series sold out in Shanghai, which is really dope. So they did a private auction out there, and yeah, got scooped up on the first night.
Epic, man.
Yeah, don't have a RAM preview ready. I don't know. Can you see the screen here that I have going on?
Yep. We see like, the blue and it looks like almost like a spaceship.
Yeah, so the title of this one is going to be called Sewer Shark, another nod to my childhood there. I used to have the Sega CD that was, the attachment to the Sega Genesis back in the day. It was like the first disc-based gaming system. And the game that came with it was called Sewer Shark, which it was like a full live video thing. I mean, it was kind of crazy, but you're basically like this guy in this spaceship and you're traveling around like these futuristic sewers, and you're like killing radioactive rats and bats and all types of crazy stuff down there. So I was like, it'd be dope again to pay homage to a piece of my childhood. So I'm calling this one Sewer Shark. And so like I reimagined the inside of the spaceship, just like how my interpretation would be on it. And we're kind of flying down this corridor that I made here, which it's not exactly a sewer. It's more of like a futuristic corridor, but again, I have some of this stuff is going to be audio reactive. I have some stuff that's going to be playing in the screens here. The lights are going to be audio reactive, and I'm trying to figure out what I should do special for the one of one. But yeah, this is basically the skeleton of the framework that you're seeing right here. So yeah, this is going to be released on the 21st. Again, this one's called Sewer Shark.
Very dope. So this is for the 21st. So that's in a week. So this is also about to drop.
Yeah. So got to get busy. you know, I'm about 95% done with it. So yeah, not too much stuff to add to it, but yeah, I got to get this ready and cranked out. So I have it, ready for the release ahead of time.
Yeah, back to the deadline thing. Yeah, like, it's just so funny when I hear artists say that. Like Sam Madhu, she's a talented 3D artist. She was on the show once, and she just was like, "Yeah, the drop's on." I think it was like, I don't know, 20 or 25 days from then, and she was like, "Yeah, so I do have to make the art." And I was like, "You shouldn't say that, Sam. Like, like you should say it's
Right.
already made. You just can't show it yet."
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've been working on it for a minute. Same thing. Like, I was working on this one coincide with the other ones. Of course, I put more effort into the Maker's Place because that was dropping first. And so now that that stuff was done, then I started really, putting my effort into the Nifty Royale drop. But definitely excited for both of them. First time I'll be dropping like that fast, with like fresh work that's right off the press.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So basically, four total pieces are about to drop. 3 on Maker's Place, and then the 4th one on September 21st.
Yes, sir. Yep. And
Awesome.
then
Anything?
nah, I was gonna say, I think I might be doing another auction out in Shanghai. Like, I had some requests to do some more stuff out there. So yeah, it never stops, man. It never stops.
It never
But
stops when you're good, when
yeah,
you're legit.
I try my best. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm over here just trying to crank away. Like my boy Burley was saying, I need to put more art out there. There's collectors out there that can't collect my work if it's not for sale. So I mean, definitely took that to heart. And I'm just in here in the lab in my free time, just trying to create and put some stuff out there for sale.
That's awesome, man. And the one of one thing, you've hit the nail on the head with that for sure. Like from what I can tell, most of the work's one of one, right?
Yeah. Everything is one of one. The Nifty Royale would be my first ever edition, but I thought it was a dope concept, so I didn't mind. Like, I'd like staying in that one to one realm for right now, unless I got like a Nifty drop, then of course I would do some additions there. But for the most part, I think one to one is where it's at.
Yeah. I mean, it's proving to be definitely where it's at. Obviously, I think that there's certain artists that have really great open editions. Of course, my camera goes out here in the last couple minutes of the interview, but I'm gonna. You got the badass background with the arcade games and stuff, so I'm gonna let you just rock, and they can hear my voice here. But yeah, I
All
think
good.
one on ones is. Yeah, it's the way to go. Anything else that you want to let the audience know about what they can expect from Jonathan Winbush in the next couple months?
Yeah, speaking of Nifty, I mean, I talked to some people over there. If I want to come up with a concept first before I really get into talks with them. Like whenever I talk to a platform, I would like to be, at least 90% done because I believe in show and tell. I don't want to give like a concept and then get a deadline and then have to rush, to meet that deadline. I'd rather be 90% there and be like, yo, this is what I'm presenting. And so I think that's what's going to be next on my agenda, unless somebody else wants me to do like a curated drop or something like that. But yeah, I would say these NFTs right now, this is going to be it for a little bit there.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm sure that there's going to be some really competitive buying activity for this stuff. The Beeples of the world are just going to throw down the M's, and those things are going to, fly off the shelves. But in all seriousness, I'm sure it's going to be successful. Another sellout. Really excited to see how it does, and to check out your work on Maker's Place. Everyone watching, make sure you follow Jonathan. It's just at Jonathan Winbush on Twitter. Check out the drops, and yeah, thanks so much everyone for watching. Thanks for coming, Jonathan.
Yeah, appreciate it. I see my people in the chat there. Shout out to Burley. Shout out to iDesign. Yeah, I think Tony from Makers might be in here as well. Shout out to Karen at Nifty Royale. And yeah, like he said, follow me on Twitter. And if you want to bid on Maker's Place, it's just makersplace.com/Winbush. And I'll see you tomorrow at noon Pacific. Beater.
Tomorrow at noon Pacific. Let's go.